What creates success? A case study. I'm Jackie Almer from StreetSmartWealth.com. We tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in any given year, and we remarkably underestimate what we can do in 5 years if we stick to the same game plan, making tweaks and changes. We overestimate so many different things. We overestimate what it means to go viral in terms such as influencer, having immediate success. We see some people do that, and then we measure ourselves up against them without ever truly knowing what the backstory is. And I guarantee you, there is always a backstory, always a backstory. As a 25-year internet marketer, I've learned that over and over and over again. And even in my early days in network marketing, when I would actually talk to top income earners before I became one, I learned what their backstory was. Everybody gets started at ground zero. And what that basically means is as you launch your business, you typically have no audience, no influence, no customers, no proof. Now, I say no influence. Depending on where you are in your life, you might have a lot of influence because you're a leader, because you have a certain role, and people are going to naturally listen to you. Congratulations. Hopefully, you will take that and maximize it. We underestimate the power that we all have in just getting the job done, committing to the project that we've decided on, and committing to the consistency and the content creation, in my case, and possibly yours, with online marketing for sure, that it's going to take. Now, the case study that I want to share with you is regarding my YouTube channel over at Lower Toxic Life. I've mentioned in previous shows and episodes that I got my health coaching certification, and I wanted to launch a business along those lines. Not getting rid of what I was already doing, but something to play into my strengths and my passions around health and wellness and nutrition and all that goes into that. And so in 2021, I completed my health coaching certification and began to launch my business. In 2023, I started seriously studying YouTube again. I had known for years that it was an amazing platform. And in the back of my mind, I kept telling myself, get back to YouTube, get back to YouTube. But I had launched a podcast. I was doing a lot of different things, a lot of offline networking, all things that were great. But I wish if I could go back in time, I would have stuck with my YouTube plan and strategy. So moving forward with this new business, I knew that YouTube was going to be a big part of it. And honestly, there's no way that I could have known 8 months later exactly what was going to happen with my channel. Now, I launched my channel April 1st, but I spent the entire, from the very beginning of the year, so I spent 3 months for sure, absolutely working day in and day out on what my plan was. Who was my target audience? Who was I speaking to? What were the challenges that they faced? What were the solutions that I offered? And then a whole wide variety of topics and content that I could create and deliver to them so that they would ultimately become aware of me, become my audience, and listen to what I had to say. Now, I mentioned YouTube because one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to build it largely without other social media influence. I wanted to see, because of my studies, what I could get done strictly with YouTube. Strictly with YouTube. So I had no idea what was going to happen, but what I did was set a goal to launch my podcast on April 1st of 2024. And that's what I did. I went into it. I did a lot of study. I'm a great student. I launched with 5 videos because I knew the power in that. I wanted people to be able to binge watch my videos. And that does a lot of good things in the YouTube algorithm. I won't bore you with those details. That's a whole nother podcast that's coming. But what I knew was listening to other people who had done exactly what I wanted to do, looking back on my own success with this channel, that this YouTube channel, that this podcast and show is on, I knew what was possible. And it's like anything. I knew that if I put my mind to it, I could maybe not be an immediate success, but I could build the success that I wanted, just like I knew I could 25 plus years ago when I took my business online in October of 1999, when everybody told me I was crazy and I had no clue what I was doing. So the one thing that I was sure of was that I was capable of doing it. And if I did what I knew needed to be done. The rest would play out by my audience. I know what the data shows, I know what the trends are, and I know what other marketers share about what's going on with YouTube. And so I just asked myself, why not me then too? Now, I want to give you a few words to let go of in this new phase. I'm recording this in December of 2024. It doesn't matter when you're listening to it, it's still relevant. Words that no longer really matter are influencer, going viral, building it fast, all of those things that we've been overhyped with to believe should happen in the online space. And quite frankly, don't happen that way for most of us. Now, a little bit later in the show, I'm going to talk to you about throwing out the rules also, because who gets to decide what the rules are anyway? Systems and strategies will outperform goals and passion any day. That doesn't mean that goals and passion don't matter, but when you have systems and strategies in place, it's going to happen for you if you just stick with those systems and strategies. So again, I'm going to share the case study of my own YouTube channel. I decided on my topic, I decided what I wanted to pursue, and I set some goals. I did not set income or client goals. What I set were action goals, things that I knew that I could and would commit to. I knew that I could set up a strategy, execute on that strategy, and through that, my launch would happen of my channel and the rest would fall into place. And then, so my goal was to launch my YouTube channel on April 1st, launch with 5 videos, and from April 1st to December 31st, 2024, to have 100 videos out there. Now, as of this recording, I believe I'm at 109 or 110 that should be out there. And that's not counting the shorts that I've done. And I didn't do a great job with shorts, but that's part of my strategy for this next year. And I'm going to get to that because I want to share with you what I learned, what I experienced. Now, almost initially, I experienced fear. I'm not good enough. I don't want to do this. I experienced procrastination. I'll start it tomorrow. Unworthiness, comparanoia, buffering. Oh, I'm going to go to the grocery store and then I'll shoot the video when I come back. I know me. I'm a morning person. I get up and I get the most important things done first thing in the morning because I just operate better that way. What happened was I learned to do it scared. I learned to do it on the days and at the times when I didn't really want to do it. I had a written strategy. And as I've shared before, I sat down, I wrote out a strategy, and big part of that strategy was 100 videos by the end of the year. I had 8 months to do that, which meant that I had to create, I think around 16, 20, anyway, I can't do the math exactly, 12, maybe it was 12 videos a month plus 4 bonus in there. And so I broke it up. I looked at my calendar. I looked at the months I was going to be gone. I was gone most of August. So I had to either really get busy and get stuff in the till and, pre-shoot it, or I could do more. And the other thing I committed to was launching a video every Monday morning. When the rest of them happened throughout the week was arbitrary, but I did pretty much commit to Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. But Monday was a given. The rest of them, I thought I'm just going to let it play out. I didn't want to get myself too pigeonholed into one particular strategy. So that's what I did. And I wrote out a list of almost all 100 topics, everything that fit into lowering the toxins in your life, right? Through diet, nutrition, through personal care products, home cleaning, so that people show up as peak performers. You know me, Peak Performance Habits is one of my websites. I'm all about habits. I'm all about being a peak performer. And when you feel good, you look good. And when you feel and look good, you do better. So I knew that that was important. So like I was saying, I experienced all of the negative feelings and emotions that most people do, but I learned to do it scared. I learned to do it regardless of how I was feeling in the moment. I learned to let go of perfection. Is my makeup right? Does my hair look okay? Is that a new wrinkle? Should I change my clothes between every video? Oh, was that the same pair of earrings? I let all of that go. And honestly, on that channel, most of those initial videos I did wearing black. I chose one color, even though a lot of people tell you black's not the right color to wear on camera. I look good in black. It hides a lot of stuff, and it lowered my resistance to trying to figure out what it was I was going to do on that channel. I ordered a bunch of black shirts that all looked mostly the same. They were slightly different off of Amazon. And so I had a whole wardrobe of black shirts that I could get up, wear one black shirt, shoot 3 videos, didn't matter. It was a black shirt. Next day, do the same thing. I also had fear over other people's opinions, right? I had fears over, oh my gosh, there's already so many people who are out there talking about health and wellness and talking about weight loss and talking about cooking and all of that. So am I too late? And who's going to listen to me? These are all things that you possibly are thinking as you're hearing this and thinking about maybe your own YouTube channel or starting a YouTube channel or just getting your business out there. But what I finally decided was, if it's not me, then who? And if it's not now, then when? I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and I'm not trying to be. I know who my target audience is. I know what I've accomplished in my life over the many decades that I've been alive with health and wellness and growing up that way, and all that I've learned and explored and lived with my own self and my own family. And I know the demographics. I know that YouTube shares that women, primarily in my particular age group and demographic, is one of the fastest growing consuming content on YouTube, while at the same time, it's one of the smallest in terms of people actually creating content. Because, of course, women hesitate to put themselves out there. They hesitate to put themselves on film. They hesitate to be vulnerable and leave themselves open for other people's critiques, complaints, and judgment. And I know because I've experienced all of that. But I decided I didn't care. I decided I was not going to let that be me. Because, see, I had made that decision 25 years ago when I took a business online. I could have easily said that. Like, who do I think I am? I've never even taken a computer class. Now, what happened in the 8 months that YouTube channel's been up and those hundreds of videos, those 100 plus videos, 109 or 10, as I say, some of those videos got thousands of views. And some of them have less than 10. Some of the topics worked really well, and some of them didn't work so well. And some of those, quite frankly, surprised me. But what I know about YouTube is I can keep recreating the same basic concept of those topics and learn how I can do it better. I don't have to take down the old ones, because over time, if you understand the YouTube algorithm, you'll know that even as long as they're evergreen and timeless, they could be 9 years old and start getting traction for you. You can monetize 9-year-old videos. This is why I'm such a fan of YouTube, because you cannot do that with social media. Social media is right now, it serves a purpose and a place, but it is right now eyeballs. And what I learned is that there are no failures. There were only learning opportunities. I could look at those videos and say, I wonder why that one worked and that one didn't. Was it my thumbnail? Was the picture I used on the thumbnail? Was there too many words on the picture? What was the title I used? Did I ask enough questions? And it's not even about it being too long or too short. I'm of the philosophy, use just the right amount of time. Take as long as you need to get your point across and make it as short as you can to get your point across. Now that I'm looking forward to a new year, I have an entire body of work before me that I can use. Over 100 videos that are timeless and evergreen that are going to work for me, that are already out there working for me, honestly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every single day, those videos are out there getting new traffic, new eyeballs, creating new audience, creating new binge watchers, turning some people off. That's okay. Like I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's okay. But I have an entire body of work that's working for me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all around the globe. And I can sell my coaching to anyone, anywhere. Now, what would it cost me to hire a staff to do something like that? 100 little bodies that are out there potentially working. Now, what were some of the mistakes I made? Because I think it's just as important to learn from our mistakes as our successes. Well, I created a lot of content, like I said, over 100 videos, but I didn't do a super great job of marketing it. I fell short of marketing those videos to my list regularly. My life was busy and I was consumed with a lot of things. I'm not making excuses. I'm acknowledging that some of those things were excuses and some of them were truly reasons. My life was busy. I was consumed with different things, And I knew in the back of my mind that I was missing the boat on the marketing aspect of it, but I also knew that opportunity doesn't go away. It just gets delayed often down the road. So I just let things unfold as they were going to unfold. After the first few months of putting my videos out there, the trends and patterns that I needed began to emerge for me with my content and my audience. New ideas for themes and topics emerged, including a series and a playlist on intermittent fasting, which I already have a program around, my sugar shakedown program, um, my holiday series. I did a whole playlist on Thanksgiving, and now one is emerging for Christmas. And all of that is work that I did one time that I can market over and over and over again, which can pay off for me. So now, using all those videos and those playlists, I have the ability to go back and market to that list, to my existing email list. I did launch my channel with an offer. Go to lowertoxiclife.com and grab my recipe guide, my label reading and understanding guide, and grocery shopping guides for how to stock your kitchen better. Okay. Every video starts and ends with that. And I've been growing that list over the course of these 8 months and those 100 videos. So I built that list, and I can continue to market to that list and continue to market to any new subscribers who came in. Those very first subscribers only had 5 videos that they could choose from. Newer subscribers have over 100 videos and growing every single week. So now I also have the ability to market that out in social media and in stories on video to push people to the content that's created. I can push that content on other YouTube videos that I create, putting in cards that guide people to where I want them in the show notes. And then specifically, part of my plan for this next year is to look at each video that I have out there and specifically create a series of shorts, 1 minute roughly, that point people back to the main content. So of those 100 videos, I'm just going to use 100. My goal is to create 10 shorts toward each of those videos. That's my plan for this year. And let's see how well those do, not only getting eyeballs, but getting subscribers to my channel, getting subscribers to my email list, and then driving them back to the content that I've already created, that main content, the longer video, which is where the meat and potatoes really happens with YouTube. On my podcast, on my blog, I always teach to make all of your content work for you. If you create a piece of content, ideally, you want to be showcasing that content every way that you can. So every single video that I made went on my podcast, my audio podcast. It went on my YouTube channel, my YouTube video and audio podcast, and it went on my blog. So that there are 3+ ways for people to find me who are looking that don't know I exist, right? That was always my goal. It's 2 a.m. in Buffalo, New York. Somebody's awake looking for a solution to their problem. I have the solution. Where are they going to go online to find me? What content do I need to create so that they can find me? So again, repurposing your content and not only allowing it to be one YouTube video is absolutely dynamic, and it's a brilliant way to use content and to build your business. So YouTube, podcast, and the blog, beyond social media, right? And all of that creates content, creates clients, and creates sales. And I also now have shown up as a guest on other podcasts, and I can drive people back to that landing page, that free offer, lowertoxiclife.com, which sends them emails, sends them all my good stuff, sends them to my blog, sends them back to my YouTube channel, and it all works beautifully together. So what I want to encourage you to do right now is look at your business. What are your goals for this next year? And I'm not talking income goals necessarily. As I mentioned, I didn't set income goals for this first 8 months of this launch. I certainly am for 2025 and this next year. But my whole goal was to get it out there, get it done, stay consistent, not get discouraged, just keep going. Yes, I created sales. Yes, I created income, but those were not my primary goals. And what I've learned over the last 30 years of having a business, and certainly 25 online, is that when I take action and I show up consistently and I try and I test and I tweak and I'm willing to learn from those perceived failures, it's invaluable information for me. And things will fall into place, including those income goals. I don't control anyone else's pocketbook, but I do control my own time, my own calendar, and my own actions. And I know, like I know the sun's going to come up in the morning, that if I stay consistent with my marketing and creating that content for my ideal client and speaking to them, letting them know that I have the solution that they're looking for, my audience and everything else is going to fall into place. Now, if you want to learn more about how I do this, go to killercontentformula.com, killercontentformula.com, and watch that video series and learn. So back to your business. You have a whole day stretching out in front of you. Hopefully you're listening to this in the morning, maybe not. You certainly have a week, a month, a year. So it doesn't matter when you're listening or watching. The important thing is that you start today. You start today, at least with your mindset and building a strategy. Sit down with your calendar and a blank sheet of paper and decide what it is that you truly want. Write out some ideas of what it's going to take to get there. Jot those down. Now, again, when I was starting my YouTube channel, I spent a lot of time thinking and taking notes before I ever hit record that very first time. Or before I ever even launched my channel, I didn't even know what the name of my channel was going to be. I had some ideas, and all of those were in my notes and in my ideas. As I mentioned, I wrote out those topics for almost all of my 100 videos that I intended to publish. And the funny thing is, 3 weeks into shooting the videos and the launch of my channel, I deviated from a lot of those original topics. I probably only used 20 to 25, maybe 30 of those original topics. And that's because I began to learn from the data that was coming in. I began to learn from the comments that people were leaving on my channel. I began to learn from the feedback, and it launched new, fresh ideas for me where I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about this topic. And this fits in beautifully with that. Or I'd be at the grocery store and I'd get an idea and I would immediately come home and shoot that video. So what happened with those initial videos and that initial plan and learning what my target audience was actually looking for, all of that was priceless. Now, all of those topics I didn't use, they're still great and they're still going to become videos at some point, most likely. But without that written plan, I would have never hit record. I would have never created the content, all the stuff that went into launching my YouTube channel, and I probably would not have gotten started. And I certainly would not have learned everything that I've learned that I'm sharing here with you. So if it's easier for you, look at the month stretching ahead and look at the year stretching ahead and break them down into themes. I love using themes, and it's how I've created the bulk of my content since the day I started online. I would create themes around the month. And the biggest reason I do this is for my own peace of mind, my own consistency and workflow. I don't know that my audience cares one bit that there's a theme, but for me, it's easy to pick a theme and then plot in those topics that fall under that theme and give me ideas of what to create. Those are systems and strategies that work. And those systems and strategies will outperform goals and desires every day. Now, I've spent the last year in a coaching program with a woman who I followed for nearly 10 years before I joined her coaching program. I've watched her consistency. I've evaluated it. I've tracked it. And I've also watched the fact that she developed a theme-based calendar year, and she doesn't change those monthly themes year after year after year. All the way back to 2017 is when I can track that she set those up as the monthly themes, and she's used that content, repurposed that theme, repurposed that content over and over again. And because she creates evergreen content like I do, and things don't really change that much, she tweaks a few things here and there, year to year, and she just keeps going because she created that initial content. And now she has something to market, speak to, create content around over and over and over again. And that, my friend, is what I recommend that you do. I mentioned my Thanksgiving and Christmas series. When I wrote out that initial strategy, I didn't even have that on there. I had a few things. I think I had, create create a video of what I always do a Mexican food, big thing, big fiesta for Christmas Day. I had that down. But then all of a sudden I got the idea to do a whole Thanksgiving series and then Christmas. And I did some stuff on Halloween because I did the sugar shakedown and just different things like that. But all of that content is evergreen because I didn't date it. It may show a date in the title of the video, but I can always go take that video, that date out of that title. You can do a lot of things as long as it's not in the actual video. And even if it is, as long as the rest of it's evergreen, it will still get shown over and over and over again. I still see a lot of things that show up in my algorithm and my feed on YouTube that are way dated that I would never go back to because time and history has changed, but people don't take those down. And obviously, some of it still works. So, yeah, those are just some things that I did. And the information that I gleaned from just getting started with that strategy has truly been amazing. And speaking of the evergreen and not dating content, I was very mindful of that. I've become very mindful that unless I'm shooting a video that's very date specific, I work really hard not to ever name a date. So look at the month stretching before you, define some themes around the next few months that are coming up, write it down on your calendar, and then underneath it, begin to brainstorm what those topics are that relate to that theme. Maybe it's organization. I've done that for years in January with my network marketing and business clients. January is the month to get organized. It's a great thing to do in my Lower Toxic Life YouTube channel as well, because it's a good time to get organized with our fitness goals, our nutrition goals, all that kind of stuff. And if you've followed me for any length of time, and certainly if you go through my podcast or you go through the YouTube channel, you know that I have defaulted to my 5 favorite F words for years: faith, family and friends, fun, fitness, and finances. I've used those as themes over and over again. And I love them because they interweave with each other, they cross over into each other, and they fit together beautifully. And I can do them individually, I can do them as a grouping, and I never run out of ideas and content around those 5 F words. So for you, what is it you're actually selling? Who is your ideal client? Who are you actually selling it to? If you're in network marketing, you've been told that your audience is everybody. And while that could be true, when we speak to everyone, we speak to no one. So the more specific that you can get with calling out your target audience by name and by desire, what is their challenge? What are they looking to have resolved? Then they will begin to follow you. So who's that person that's looking for your message? What's their pain point? How do you solve it? Again, go to killercontentformula.com, watch those videos, go through that. If you want my guide on how I've done this for years and years, how I still do it today, and it's the exact formula that I use to launch this YouTube channel. So back to the point about throwing out the rules, and like I asked, who makes the rules anyway? When I started online, it was the Wild West, man. It was Pioneer Town. And most people were just doing whatever and figuring it out. I certainly was. But there were already some people who were talking about rules. Blog posts need to be a certain number of words. Emails need to be this way, and then that way, and then the other way. Short, long, all of it. Only post X number of times a day. Only post X number of days of the week. Now it's post 3 times a day at the following times. Post only in your stories. Nope, only post in your feed 3 days a week. Oh, use 30 hashtags, use less hashtags, use no hashtags. It just goes on and on. And as you can tell by my schedule lately on this podcast, for sure, with my relaunch of it, I'm throwing out the rules. I'm throwing out the rules. I have a strategy written out. I have that game plan. And sometimes, like today, I woke up and thought, I want to share my case study because I want to get you thinking into this next year, into your goal setting, getting some themes, and getting started writing out that strategy. We're closing out one year. We're opening a new year. If you're watching this in the middle of the year, it doesn't matter. You can still be closing out one year, one mindset model, and opening a new one. And that's all that matters. So I woke up today and thought, the mood has hit me that I want to talk to you about the strategy and get you working on a strategy. So I'm just going to get ready and get my video and my audio set up and push record. And I encourage you to do the same. So again, who is your audience? What are they seeking? What's the solution that you provide? Okay. And how can you communicate that to them over and over and over again without actually selling them? The goal is to always have it be their idea. And I'm telling you, you can take that information to the bank, because after 25 years of marketing online and learning the ins and outs of all of that, I can absolutely tell you that's the truth. It's timeless. We all like to buy. None of us like to be sold to. So let them know that you're the guy or the gal that can get them where they want to go. Tell them the what, but not the how, and they will gladly pay you for that. So that's it for today. I could keep rambling on, but I hope you get the point. I hope more than anything, you'll take it seriously and that you'll sit down and you'll do the work. I'm Jackie Elmer, streetsmartwealth.com, helping you with the skills to pay the bills. Would it change your business at all if you knew exactly what to say online and offline about your business without annoying family, friends, and strangers? Join me for the KillerContentFormula.com 3-day challenge. I'll provide proven tools to overcome fears and limiting beliefs that keep you feeling stuck with what to share on social. We'll create your powerful impact introduction. We'll write your business story in a formula to share on social that attracts your ideal clients and doesn't turn anyone off. And you can use this formula over and over and over. No more stare, compare, and despair about what to say to grow your business. Grab the first 3 video trainings at KillerContentFormula.com. And let's create that rock star lifestyle business you desire.